First thing I do here is saute one whole green bell pepper and 1/2 red bell pepper. So I saute my peppers for about 3 to 4 minutes in advance of my onions. Then I take my onions and my garlic. I have 2 cloves of garlic. Take the onions and the garlic. I mix it right in to the skillet. This goes in before the okra goes in. This is about 1.5 medium-sized onions. And we'll put in 2 cloves of garlic. And I saute this till it gets soft. So while this is sauteing, what I'm going to do next is to take my 2 Roma tomatoes that I have right here, my 2 Roma tomatoes. I'm going to cut them up and get them ready for the okra to go in. Now, garlic, I've got 1 clove of garlic that shouldn't be in here. I cut that 1 clove out. I cut up other garlic already, so I have garlic already in here cut up. So what I'm going to do next is to mince this garlic. So while my onions are cooking on medium heat, I'm going to chop this garlic clove up into small pieces. See? It's like this. I don't know if you can see that. Chop this garlic up. Chop that fine. Add this garlic to my mix. I have 3 cloves of garlic in there at this point. Stir that in to give it great. It really smells really fantastic. And while that's sauteing, I'm going to stir it around until the onions get tender. And what I've added in here is some olive oil. I'm going to add a little more olive oil here, extra virgin olive oil. Just kind of wet it a little bit. Olive oil in there. Stir it around. So now I have my onions, my garlic, my red bell pepper, and my green bell pepper. I'm going to bring that there. While that's cooking, I'm going to basically go on and cut my Roma tomatoes up in pieces. Now, Roma tomatoes are used to basically break down the okra that we're going to saute, and it also kind of helps take some of the slime out of the okra. I'll leave the skin of the tomatoes on. That's perfectly okay here. So I'm just kind of cutting these up here a little bit, getting ready for the skillet. So I have 2 Roma tomatoes fresh out of the garden. Came out the garden this morning. I'm going to basically cut these up into pieces. Not necessarily so small, but just cut them into pieces so they're manageable and bite size. That's all I'm doing here. I have not added any salt or any seasoning yet at this point. So now I'm going to take these Roma tomatoes and get them ready to go in the skillet here. Now I'm going to add in my okra. This is about a 1/2 gallon bag amount of okra. I'm not going to put all these in. I'm just going to put about a 1/2 gallon bag in. About right there. Good right there. This is enough okra here for a meal for 4 people actually. So I put those okra in at this point. Stir these okra around, mixing all the ingredients together, the onions, the bell pepper, and all that. It's going to get a little stiff, it's going to get a little dry. We're going to add a little more olive oil to it to wetting it back. But before we do that, what we're going to do here is take some of this special seasoning here. I'm going to take this seasoning, this Perfect Pinch vegetable seasoning. I'm going to take 1 teaspoon. Spread that around. 2nd teaspoon. This is the Perfect Pinch vegetable seasoning. No MSG in it. Add that in there. For the extra kick, I use a little paprika, about 1/8 paprika here. 1/8 teaspoon. tablespoon of pepper with it. A little bit of pepper, tablespoon of pepper. Once I got that going, I'm going to stir this all together. Add a little more olive oil here to kind of wet it, so I can get the fry on it. Stir fry, that's what we're looking for here. Olive oil. Mix that around some more. Bring the heat up to about medium high. Get that sizzle going. We have 2 more ingredients to add. The next ingredient I'm going to add here are the tomatoes. You have the Roma tomatoes right on in here, just like that. Throw those bad boys around, like that. Bring the heat on up a little more. As you can see here, we got some slime, but that Roma tomato, once it breaks down, it's going to dissolve that. And of course, the next 2 ingredients we're going to add is a little bit of corn, but we'll wait a little while to add the corn so it doesn't get tough on the outer skin of the corn. So we need a little more olive oil here. Olive oil is used kind of heavy, but it's good for you. So add a little more olive oil. So kind of have to eyeball it. That's all the olive oil I have in here, so I have to restock that. And you probably can hear that sizzle going on. We're basically going to fry this off a little bit. And this is my first time using perfect pinch, so I don't know how much to use, but I'm going to just kind of let my taste buds be the judge. I'm going to sprinkle a little more on there. I feel like I need a little more on there. Like that. And I'm tempted here, and I think I will do it, to add a little bit of Stop Your Mama seasoning on there. Although it's normally used on meats, I'm going to add a little bit of Stop Your Mama on there. Just a little bit. Give it an extra kick. Oh, I wish you could smell that. It really smells great. And once we get it sauteed pretty good, what we do is we add 2 tablespoons of water. One tablespoon of water. Provide a little steam. 2 tablespoons of water. Get sizzle going there. We'll cover this for a few moments. Then when we come back, what we're going to do is we're going to add the whole kernel corn and the low sodium soy sauce right here. We're going to add that. Now we reduce our heat to medium stir, making sure it's not sticking on the bottom. As we stir, so at this point it's been simmering for about 5 to 7 minutes. We still have some little slime here, so what we're going to do is we're going to get 2 tablespoons soy sauce, low sodium soy sauce. Add that. It's 1. Two, probably 2.5. 2.5. 3. It's 2.5 tablespoons of soy sauce, low sodium soy sauce. It's going to give us a little saltiness. For those who prefer salt, you can add a little salt to taste, however you like it. But I'm using this perfect pinch vegetable seasoning here. This perfect pinch, that's what I'm using right here on that. And you use all these seasonings to taste, so it's kind of trial and error a little bit in terms of taste. But now, as you see, this has settled down quite a bit. got a little char on some of the onions. It's okay. We'll just cover this, reduce the heat down about 15-20 minutes, but you cook it based on your level of crunchiness of the okra. I like mine a little tender, so I cook mine about 20 minutes. Some people like it, al dente, so they cook it about 10 minutes or so. But it's up to you how long you saute this. And that's it. Now, only little thing right near the end, we're going to add about 5 minutes left in the cooking time. We're going to add our whole kernel corn. Okay, so we're back. So we continue to stir this. I did in the break add a little more soy sauce. So I like mine with a little heavier soy sauce. I added the soy sauce. At this point, once we add the whole kernel corn in, I got about a half a cup of whole kernel corn. A little over half a cup of whole kernel corn. And then mix that in. Good. All right. Whole kernel corn, half a cup. And because we add a whole kernel corn, we don't want it to get too tough on the outside. So it's at this point, this is frozen whole kernel corn. You could use fresh whole kernel corn because it's, frozen. Add this a little bit to add a little color. Optionally, you can add broccoli to this, about 8 spears of frozen broccoli cut in small pieces, or that's 8 small spears. If you got larger broccoli spears, you would use about 4 and cut them in pieces. Add them to your okra mix here. I don't have any broccoli tonight, so I'm going to go without it, but that adds a nice flavor also to it. Got a piece of frozen okra corn there. So what I'll do at this point is add about a 1/4 cup of water because I want to steam the corn. I said about a 1/4 cup, not quite a 1/4 cup. So I turn my heat back up to medium again. I turn it down. Add my water to this and cover it and simmer for another 5 minutes until the corn is done. If you look real closely, you can see it bubbling. The reason we're using only a 1/2 cup of whole kernel corn is the star of this dish is the okra, so we don't want anything to overpower the okra. The star of the dish is the okra, so that's what we want to shine. Everything else just enhances the flavor and brings flavor to it. So what we have in this dish is, of course, the sauteed in olive oil, whole green bell pepper, a half a red bell pepper. We have 3 cloves of garlic, cut very small, minced very small. Then we have 1 medium-sized onion chopped very small. And then once we sauteed all that together first, we added our okra in. And about a half a gallon of okra, maybe a little over half a gallon of okra. Sauteed that for a little while. Added our seasonings to it. We added our perfect pinch vegetable seasoning to it. Our black pepper, a little bit of slap your mama seasoning. I like a little paprika because it adds a little kick to it. So I added that also. Once I mixed that together, I added a little more olive oil, began to mix together, brought it up to heat. Then I added the 2½ tablespoons of low sodium soy sauce to it. Stirred that together, and with about 5 minutes left, I added my whole kernel corn and about a 1/4 cup of water to it. Just let that steam for a while here with the olive oil and the 1/4 cup of water. And you cook it to whatever level of crunchiness that you want. If you want your okra to be very crunchy, you probably should stop cooking it at this point. I like mine a little tender, so I cook mine a little bit longer. So you have to taste as you go here. And that's pretty much it. Optionally, you can also add the broccoli spears. You can use 4 large broccoli spears or about 8 small ones. And you cut them to smaller pieces, not chopped very finely, but in smaller pieces so they bite size. And that's pretty much it for this okra medley, as I call it. I'm going to stir this one more time. As you see, I've turned the heat up and it's simmering, and now I don't have any slime in this dish at all. Now this dish is ready. And for those of you who want to use salt, you season it with salt to your taste. I did not use any salt here. I used the perfect pinch of the paprika and the vegetables themselves, the onions and the garlic, and the onions and the garlic and the peppers to season it with it. So I got a nice simmer going on medium heat. I'm going to turn this back down on low and just let it simmer some more. And that's pretty much how you put this dish together. Thank you.